You ready? Hello and welcome back to Fabrication 101. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. So I've been working for a while to try and come up with a way to finish up the back end of the Bronco here. Eventually, and I'm still looking for a tailgate, I want to have a tailgate that's going to come up to here and then probably down at an angle, so it should finish up that. But I need to come up with a plan for the back of these rear fender flares and figure out what I'm doing for taillights. I've had a lot of different ideas and some things to do to try. What I've decided to try and do is incorporate these little LED taillight turn signals that are about 6.5 inches long or so into the back of the fender flare and into the back of the fender. I think I'm going to mount them into the fender flare and just run the wiring down the inside. So what I think I'm going to have to try and do here, I'm going to make a box that these will fit in, that I can then weld into the fender flare, that will kind of finish up the back of this thing. I think it'll look pretty good. I had thought about trying to roll the back of the fender flare down and kind of make it look more like the front. The problem is with the rear tire in there and everything, I just didn't feel like I could make it look right, because to make the radius and everything look good, it was going to push the fender flare way out, like 6 inches back behind the back of the Bronco, which I didn't want. So I'm going to leave them flat for now, and then I'm going to incorporate these into the back of the fender. I think it should clean it up, make it look pretty good. So let's start. We'll start by probably making some patterns out of some ramboard or cardboard, and then we'll figure out how we want to make this box and how we want to mount this into the box, the mounting point, because that box is going to get welded into the fender flare. So shouldn't be too difficult, but should really clean up the back of this. Looks pretty nice. So we got the pocket, the area for the light all tacked in there. I'm really pleased with the way this is coming out. I'll tell you a little secret. The angle iron that I use for this is actually old bed frame that I've got laying around. The dimensions of it made it to where it fit really well without me having to do a bunch of work on it. So I just figured I'd use that. So here's the housing for the tail light. And I kind of like that it's chrome, and I kind of like that it peeks out just a little bit off the edge. That fits in there really well. And then we've got our light here, which I had to drill a hole through for the wires to sneak through. So let's stick those in and see how they fit. Looks pretty good. I'm super pleased with it, the way that's looking. I like how it's kind of flush with the back of the Bronco. If I ever do find a tailgate for this thing, I think it'll look really good on here. So now that that's test fit, we're gonna get it all welded up and smooth it out, blend it out, and then we'll check back with you in a second. So passenger side taillights all done, looks really good. I'm actually super pleased with the way that came out. I do still have a little bit of fine tuning to do on these, but they're pretty much done. And I have this side done as well. And I did a little quick rough wiring job and went ahead and wired them up. That's actually the brake light. Pretty bright actually. It looks a lot brighter in real life, I guess not in the camera. It looks pretty cool. I think it'll look really cool when it's all final done. And the fender is painted black. I'm actually super pleased with the way these came out. All right, well, that's gonna do it on this episode of Fabrication 101, and it's kinda gonna do it for a lot of the heavy fab work on this Bronco. I got a lot of little things left to do, like wiring and plumbing, but it's not really stuff that's gonna come across very well on a video. So I'm gonna be looking at some other projects coming up here next. Maybe a bumper for my truck, working on a trailer to convert it to a dump trailer, which I think would be a good project, or making some furniture for my house for a while. Anyway, we will see you guys on the next video of Fabrication 101. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I will see you guys next time. In the meantime, do me a favor, do yourself a favor, and get out there and build something.